to Home 411. This is Randall Winter with Randall Winter Construction, Jeff Softly with Softly Electric, Jeff Brown with NV Landscape, and Dale Hayes with Hayes Plumbing. And we're going to put Dale up on the mic in a second here, but we just saw a friend of ours, another expert in the field, Joel Moss from Paul Davis. He does and has been on this show. He actually goes in when there's a flood, and what an inconvenience he told us it is for these people to have to live through that. We have some friends we've done work for, right, Dale?
Yeah.
And their house gets all flooded because of some stupid little thing that they didn't pay attention to. Would you like to address that, Dale?
Well, I think the biggest thing that Joel and I see is that, once a flood happens, it's containing the flood, which is, where Joel comes in or I come in. But a lot of times a homeowner can help themselves if they're aware of where they can turn the water off. I get more phone calls at night and late evenings where, when something like that happens, you're not always thinking clearly and they're running around the house and they never really stop to pay attention to where do I turn the water off to my house.
So and they need to know where the main is.
Correct, yeah. And it can get tricky, on homes, especially in the last 10 years as they've built homes out here. They've relocated where we typically would put a main, So at someone's house, we would usually have the water shut off right up by the front door. So it was pretty easy to direct the homeowner. Nowadays, there's a lot of homes where they're in a little cubby hole in the garage.
Right, next to they're in the garage and they're usually near their illegal water softener.
No, hopefully no illegal water softener. That's a whole other issue. But what we find is that a lot of homeowners have had cabinets, custom cabinets that maybe Randy Winters has put in for them in the garage, clean up the garage, and they put everything in front of that shutoff valve.
You can't find it.
Can't find it. And again, Joel's job, my job could be so much easier. And the homeowner, it really is a major inconvenience to have flood damage.
No, I had one with my washing machine.
Yeah.
We have hard water out here, and what happens is the mineral buildup. It actually doesn't it clog the valves?
Yeah, well, the valves will seize up. So it is important to yearly just inspect that valve. Turn it on and off. If you've had a plumber out at your house working, more than likely he's operated that valve, but it needs to be operated on periodically.
Okay. Well, I know Jeff Brown from NV Landscape's leaning forward because they're up against that main also, aren't you, Jeff?
Well, we are. We're dealing with those valves. When we're working and installing irrigation systems, we do work off of that. Now, what we do to make it easier for the homeowner is that we put a separate shutoff in. That's very easy for them to get to. They may not have, like some of these shutoffs, they're in the bushes, they're hidden underground, they're all over the place. We try and put it someplace where it's accessible and they can see it. But one of the things that Dale said that I think is important for everyone is that you mentioned that the valves can seize. All your valves that you have, I always put down on our maintenance schedules that we leave with clients on here, is that yearly they should exercise their valves. Just open them and close them. That's all.
That's a good tip. Yeah, there's a lot of tips coming out here at Home 411. I mean, Jeff, you had the one about pushing the GFIs every month, a little test switch. You guys are telling me we need to turn these valves on and off. But identify at your house where you shut the main off. And you may have two shutoffs. You have, like Jeff said, if you had him out there doing your landscape or his guys, for sure you got a separate shutoff. And if you have a water softener, a legal one, where you have maybe rain coming out to replace your water or Culligan or Quality, one of those guys coming out and they replace them, those are legal. You may have an additional shutoff there and separate your landscape water from your main. But the one thing I'd like to say is locate where those mains are so that you know how to shut them off. And then, do you want to go into how you can identify some of the problems, Dale? Like with some of the our washing machine, there's no way we could know. We went out for dinner, we came back, there's water. It didn't stop running.
Yeah, everything needs some type of maintenance. Washing machine hoses are the biggest issue, especially if you got the old rubber ones. We want to get a braided stainless steel hose in there. It still has a rubber core, but they're least likely to pop. I actually saw a documentary on 60 Minutes once, and that was the largest loss for insurance companies were washing machine hoses for water damage. Joel probably would know better, but that's we see a lot of that. So you need to look at them and change them periodically. Every 5 years, let's just change them.
Would you recommend that people go behind their toilet and turn their angle stop on and off?
Yeah, it depends on the age of the house. Now we've gone 15 years and never touched it. Probably need to have have a qualified technician do
'Cause if
it.
there's a problem, then you're in trouble.
Correct. It's like, not taking care of a car for 15 years. You're kind of asking for problems now when we start taking things apart.
Well, I know when we've remodeled bathrooms and we pulled the toilets, I always have you guys come and put a shark bite on there. We
Yeah.
take the old angle stops off because they
Yes.
leak.
Always need to put brand new angle stops
Yeah,
on.
always.
Always,
Yeah.
yeah.
Now, do they work better if you use the kind of ball valves versus those
For the-
turning-
for the
screw
main?
type ones?
Yeah.
For the angle stops.
It's all about quality. If you buy a good quality quarter turn valve, it'll work well. If you buy the $4 quarter turn valve, when you go to turn it off in a year, the handle's going to snap off. It's all in the construction.
Yeah. And I think Jeff Brown was bringing up a little different point about rather than angle stops, you were referring to the main valve because that would be a ball valve that's only a quarter turn.
Or
as
the
a-
toilet, same situation.
yeah.
on the
Yeah, we do have new, what we call angle stops, or those stop valves at each fixture that are made out of a ball valve type construction now.
They're much safer. They don't get as clogged as easily.
Correct, yeah. And when you need them, they'll more likely work than, the old plastic stem with a washer behind it.
So often you look at things about the quality of the components that you put in. The components, you may pay $1, $2, $3 more for a component, but it lasts and it's there when you need it.
Right. All right, we're going to take a break. This is Randall Winter of Randall Winter Construction, Home 411's show, and Santa Cruz Hometown Station, AM 1220, KHTS.
Softly